Welcome back to VS Creations. In continuation to our previous video from the series Beginner's Guide to Embroidery on Shape Filling Stitches, let's now see 4 different stitches for shape filling purpose. The first one is called a flat stitch. For this, take a small stitch alternatively on each side of the shape to be filled, with the point of the needle always emerging on the outside line of the shape. 2 lines may be drawn down the center of the shape as a guide for the size of the stitch. The stitches should be close together and fold into one another. You can see a characteristic 3-dimensional effect created in the middle portion of the design that is unique to this stitch. The next stitch is the open fishbone stitch. For this, bring the thread out from the central line of the shape to make a sloping stitch to the right side of the shape. Take the thread to the left side of the design and make a sloping stitch to the central line again. Two lines may be drawn in the center of the design as a reference. Continue this way alternatively. In this stitch as well, you can see a characteristic and unique formation in the center of the design, which in fact resembles a fishbone. And then we have the fishbone stitch. This stitch is very useful for filling small shapes. Start with a small straight stitch along the central line of the shape. Bring the thread through the outer line of the shape and make a sloping stitch across the central line at the base of the first stitch. Bring the thread through at the opposite side of the shape and make a similar sloping stitch to overlap the previous stitch. Continue working alternatively on each side until the shape is filled. The next shape filling stitch that we are going to learn is the Romanian stitch. For this, bring the thread at the top left of the shape, carry the thread across and take a stitch on the right side of the shape with the thread below the needle. And take a stitch at the left side of the slope with the thread above the needle. These 2 movements are worked until the shape is filled. Keep the stitches close together. The size of the center crossing stitch can be varied to make a longer oblique or a small straight stitch depending on the kind of 3-dimensional effect you want to achieve. Hope you all liked this video and learnt a few new stitches. See you all soon with the next set of stitches. Like, share and subscribe to this channel for more such videos.